Hello, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Brian.
And this is Brian versus Brian, episode 213. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Okay, you know it's different because the name is twice. That's clever. It's a sequel. Get it? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I can't wait for the next one. Beetlejuice 3.
Yep.
Just call it, just call it Beetlejuice 3.
The juice.
The juice is loose. Here we go. You all know it's one of these legacy sequels. We like to review these.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. You know, is nostalgia worth a second trip to a franchise 30 years gone? Directed by Tim Burton. Starring Michael Keaton, Wyonna Ryder, Catherine O Hara, Jenna Ortega, Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, and Willem Dafoe. August 28th, September 6th, 2024. Budget of 100 million, box office of 110 million. It doesn't sound too great, but I just saw an article that this is breaking some records or something.
Yeah, I think it is too. For September, first week of September. We had a pretty good crowd. Okay. I typically don't see movies in the afternoon. I kind of more of a nighttime cinema goer, but we just kind of thought about going yesterday afternoon. It was kind of packed. We had some cacklers in the back. We had some people having a good time in this one.
Yeah, we had a couple gothies, a couple of hot topicers, you know, sitting in the seat I want, right in front of the little gate, the middlers. I was like, fuck. So we had to sit a row behind them. One of them's got the big old witch hat. I was like, that's kind of inappropriate to wear in a movie. I'm glad no one's right behind you. It's all super tall. And they're all a bunch of young weirdos. And I was like, God, these little gothies, their sense of humor is so strange. They're such strange people, like Lydia. They were laughing at the most weird parts of the movie that weren't the most humorous. Oh, God. And I was like, okay, just strange.
Yeah, we had a guy that I do not get these kind of people whatsoever, but there was a guy in the back who kept screaming things. Like he would go, "What the fuck?" Like, what? We were just like, everyone around us is like, "What the hell? Shut up." But it was loud. It wasn't just like a "what the fuck." It was like, "What the fuck?" It's like, all right, dude, let's relax.
Beetlejuice is in this. All right, so we got Lydia Dietz as the host of a supernatural talk show, World of the Psychic. That's called Ghost House. Produced by her boyfriend Rory. During the taping of a segment, Lydia sees visions of Beetlejuice in the crowd. No. And during this, they show she's like investigating their house, and they show her in the kitchen, and also it's actually a little creepier than most Beetlejuice shit. I was like, ooh, is this actually going to be like Conjuring, get some scary moments for real? Yeah. No, not really. Just kind of this. It was scary. There's a dark force, and we'd have to leave now. And I was kind of disappointed they never explained that.
Yeah.
Never got back to that. Delia gets a hold of Lydia and shares the news about the death of her father, Charles, who was eaten by a shark. I like that. She's at the, I don't know, art show.
Gallery, yeah.
Like, your father's finally left me. What, he left you? What, he divorced you? No, idiot, he's dead.
Yeah. That was the worst thing. Why would you say that? No, he's dead. Yeah, it was pretty good. Catherine O Hara, man. Good shit.
Yeah. So Charles was going to the Amazon forest to watch birds with his binoculars, and they have a little claymation video about it, sitting in the plane because they don't want to put this actor in this movie, so they do anything.
That was a pretty fun way to do it. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
To get away from his controversies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll be a claymation on a plane, and the plane crashes. Oh, he died in a plane? No, he survived the crash. Oh my God, he drowned? No. Witnesses says he latched onto a piece of the wing. He was bitten by a shark right in half. Shark bites him, and there's a bunch of blood and stuff. So yeah, then we get him going into the afterlife. It's pretty funny, and it's just a half body with blood squirting
Yeah.
out. Um, but so they got to tell. Oh yeah, I think Lydia's like, oh, we got to tell Astrid. Is that her name?
I
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
Astrid is Lydia's daughter, the new gothic weirdo played by Jenna Ortega, and you guessed it, it's Jenna Ortega again
Yep.
as herself.
Yep.
So I don't know. This girl's like 26 or something, always playing like a child. It's kind of weird. It's like I
Hmm.
know she's not a child. It feels weird. Like, Mom, I'm in
I
school.
know,
Come
right?
on. It just like feels weird.
Yeah, I never watched
Always.
Wednesday. It's hard for me. Like, I know these are two separate properties. Obviously, Beetlejuice and Wednesday are two different things, but they're close enough to where I'm like, wasn't she already in like a gothic thing? I'm like, oh yeah, she's Wednesday. I never watched it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just Wednesday or Scream.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the same kind of person all the time, especially when they're. I think there's a wedding scene where they're like controlled and dancing.
Hmm.
Like it's just like that, totally like that Wednesday dance scene. I was like, oh my god, this is
Oh
Wednesday.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like I can't get over this. So it's just, yeah, I didn't find her too great. Um, Spoiler alert, didn't find much of it great.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
Catherine O'Hara was the best part of this movie.
Yeah, I thought I think we were talking about this on the way home from the movie, but we both agreed that Catherine O'Hara, Justin Theroux, and Willem Dafoe were the three best kind of parts of the movie. All three of those actors were every time
Wow,
they were on screen, well, we were laughing.
really?
Yeah.
I I found Thoreau to be a bit obnoxious, but it was a fun kind of a dumb,
Yeah, yeah.
skeezy producer character. But I found Defoe to just be completely useless and wasted. And it's Defoe,
Yeah, he
but he
is.
doesn't he
Yeah,
doesn't have
he
much
is
to say or do.
definitely wasted, but I feel like what the screen time he does get, it's nothing like Monica Bellucci. She's the one that got fucking shafted big time. She's barely in this movie. I don't even know why the fuck she's even in it, to be honest. But yeah, there's some good stuff, like him being an actor, and yeah, I think the moments he does have are pretty enjoyable. But yeah, he is kind of wasted.
Uh, so yeah, he's dead, and basically we're coming down to she keeps seeing Beetlejuice again. This reprised trauma. Her daughter Astrid's dad is dead, and she doesn't believe her mom can see ghosts. She's never seen her father, the one ghost she wants her to see. Um, what other kind of little plot we got going on? There's all sorts of bullshit going on. Um, Lots of things going on, and not a lot of coercion in my eyes.
Yeah, it's like it is kind of like all over the place. It's like the mother, father, the dad's not around or he died. So there's like that. There's the Catherine O'Hara thing. There's Monica Bellucci being, not reincarnated, but reanimated, and the Danny DeVito. So she's off running around. We cut to Beetlejuice, and he's kind of doing his thing in his office. Yeah, this is kind of the first like half an hour, 45 minutes of this movie is kind of a jumbled mess.
Yeah, they have to go back so they can sell the house or something like that and do the funeral there. For some reason, they have the funeral in a town they don't really live in. Now that I'm thinking about it, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like they're never there. They had to go back to the house. Um, and yeah, we got Beetlejuice. He's like running his bioexorcist company. Like, but his card said like afterlife manager or something, where he's like working in that afterlife place where people check in. But he's kind of doing what he did as Beetlejuice. He's got a crew now of shrunken head people. Um, his main
Bob.
one, Bob. Yeah, you're my number one guy, Bob. Okay.
I feel bad for Bob, man. Bob got it bad.
Yeah, yeah. That was one of the things where they show the rest in peace Bob at the end. These
Oh
little
yeah.
goth girls just fucking lost it. I was like, Jesus, not that good.
Yeah.
So funny. I remember him as a callback. Um, and so we got that thread. We got oh yeah, the chick coming back, Beetlejuice's first wife. That was kind of interesting to be able to go back to Beetlejuice. I'm pretty sure when he was alive, right? And that was a
Oh
grave robber.
yeah, that was cool. That was a cool sequence. Yeah,
And he's not Robin Graves. Still looks like old Michael Keaton. This is when I was young.
yeah, yeah. It was like
And then he
speaking
had,
French or Spanish or something. It's definitely subtitled.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Spanish. And he's a grave robber, and he meets this chick, and she ended up being uh, a soul sucking cultist. So that was terrible. And what is she poisons him? So I guess that's how he dies because he's like, drooling from the foaming at the mouth a little bit and realize she's poisoned him. But then he's like, I think he says, but I ain't going out like that. Then hits he hits her with an axe before he dies fully from the poison.
Yeah.
Chops her all up. And then she puts herself back together because, God, I don't really even know why. Danny DeVito dropped a box and it became
Yeah,
alive. I don't know.
electricity, one of
Oh,
those
yeah, yeah.
one of
Lightning.
those things, lightning, yeah.
Danny DeVito was ridiculous. It's pretty fun just to see him drinking the Drano
Yeah.
as a janitor. Just being Danny DeVito. So we got
He's
that
basically
line.
just Frank from fucking
Yeah,
Always Sunny.
yeah.
I can't not see Frank when he does shit like this.
So she is looking for revenge, I think, on Beetlejuice. It's not really said. I can't decide if she wants to kill him or remarry him again. Like
Yeah.
she wants her, you know what I mean? She wants her first love back. And yeah, like you said, she's in the movie maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, all she does is walk through hallways, pick somebody up by the throat,
Yeah,
sucks
and
their
suck
soul,
their
and then just
soul
leans
out. It's a
over.
pretty
Yeah.
cool effect when they suck up the bodies, though.
Oh,
It
yeah,
becomes
yeah.
shriveled bullshit. Yeah, she's a soul sucker, and that's how we get Willem Dafoe involved. He's like a police officer for the undead, a detective, undead crimes unit, and yeah, he was an actor, so he's a bit over the top. Um, yeah, but unlike you, I didn't find his stuff to be very funny. I thought I would have wasted opportunity having Willem Dafoe on set and him playing this stupid character. I thought the makeup on him was a little weird. Constantly having to turn his
Oh,
head
yeah,
and
with
like
the
show
brain.
the
Yeah.
skull. Like I was like, okay, I know, I get the makeup's there.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan. And he's like, well, I'm an actor. How was I supposed to know that grenade was live and all that stuff? Did his own stunts. Um, yeah, but the first wife thing, it's like, why even have her in this?
Yeah,
You,
it's
you,
ridiculous.
with the other plot that brings together Beetlejuice and Lydia and everybody else, you don't need her.
Yeah.
And she's like a villain that they build up as like such a badass, and she's scared. Ooh, she can kill the undead. Better watch out because it's hard to kill the undead, but she can do it. And so there's an actual risk of death to Beetlejuice. But then by the end, she's just immediately thwarted
Yeah.
without anything
Yeah,
happening.
it's
So
so quick.
it,
And it's weird
yeah,
because the movie kind of presents her as the villain. She gets introduced fairly early on, within the first probably 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And you think she's going to be the big bad of the film, but then, I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but halfway through the film, we're introduced to another character who ends up being a villain. And that villain, I would argue, does more damage than Monica Bellucci does. So it's just kind of like you have two villains. You could have just chose one of those and ran with it, but I don't know why you need to have two of them. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
yeah. So having the funeral, and Lydia gets not Lydia. Astrid gets upset, takes off on a bicycle, and crashes through a fence, hits a fucking tree. There's a tree fort up top. There's a kid. Hey, are you okay? Helps her, and there's obviously a young teen lovebird tension. You get
Yeah.
the eyes and the whatnot. And
I'm reading
um,
Crime and Punishment.
oh
I
my
think that's what I
God,
read,
he's
yeah.
strange like me. And yeah, so they have this weird hot topic connection going on with the
Hmm.
weirdness. And he invites her to come back the next day to hang out, and she does. And then I think he invites her to Halloween, but at this point, the producer, I forget his name,
Rory.
Lydia's, yeah, Rory, asks her to marry him at the
At the
fucking
wake.
funeral. You gonna do this at the wake? Yes, because life is about moving on and enjoying life. He's always trying to make a spectacle of everything. Um. So yeah, they're engaged. She obviously really doesn't want to. It's just kind of forcing her into it. And we know that she's been married before. That was the first husband. That's Astrid's father. We know he died in the Amazon, or at least we think he did. His body was never found. Um, but yeah, then she's dropping off Astrid at this kid's house. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever street. Yep, this is it. This is where I'll be. I'm gonna go say hi to his parents. No, this isn't a play date. Okay, this is a
Yeah.
big kid's date. She goes there. Hey, I brought candy. Probably too much. You want to go hand it out, or I just want to hang out up here with you? Okay,
Like,
we could do that.
something's fishy.
Yeah, I kind of thought that maybe at least his parents were ghosts
That's what I
because
thought
they
too.
weren't seeing.
Because
And I thought maybe he was like Lydia, and she's actually like Lydia, where they can see ghosts.
yeah,
But
yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. Because the thing was, it was throwing me off because I thought about him, but I was like, oh wait, he was in the tree, and we know from the first movie
yeah,
that the two people who try to leave the house, they can't. They go to Pluto, whatever
hmm
planet it is. So like, okay, well, we saw him in the tree house, so he's not dead. But yeah, maybe his parents, because when they were introduced to the parents, we're kind of just like floating by them. We don't actually stop
yeah.
and
And of
meet
course
them. You
they
know what I
say he
mean?
had an accident, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
really? Accident? Okay. Yeah. But that's not how that turned out. Um, well, what does he do? They kiss, I
Yeah, they
think,
kiss. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they're floating in the air. And then she falls down. And she's like, "Are you a ghost?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm a ghost kid." I don't. How did he explain how he died or try to? I don't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah, he said that his parents were fighting like they always did, and he ran out to the tree and
Oh
fell
yeah,
down and like
yeah.
broke his neck or something. And he
He
had like
fell
a
out of
little
the
bruise on his
treehouse.
neck.
Hmm. And he's like, "But I like you and I want to be with you." And she's like, "But I'm alive. How is that gonna work?" It can work. Look at this book. Yeah, oh yeah, and he had that book, the recently deceased earlier. That she's like, "Oh,
Guide
where'd you
to
get
yeah.
this?" He was like yard sale, which I guess kind of made sense because one book has been loose in that town
Hmm.
for a while. That was taken by Ortho, so I didn't immediately think he was a ghost because he had that. I thought probably his parents though. Um, yeah, he talks about the book says, I can get my life back. I just need a live human to help me with it. We got to travel to the other side, and you got to say this incantation because alive people can't go through the doorway. So she says it, and they go in, and they're in there waiting to see somebody. And I think Lydia. Oh yeah, Lydia talks to like they have the lady from the first one that's trying to sell their house. They have her daughter in this one, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
now the house seller. It's just the same character, but
Hmm.
taken over by the. And so that was cool. And she's explaining, "No, I couldn't sell this house. The murder house. It's been on the market for over 23 years. I just couldn't get it sold." And then realizes that's the house Astrid went to. So what happened? Oh, it was a young boy murdered his family, and then the police came and tried to arrest him. He was hiding in the treehouse and he fell out, broke his neck. Wouldn't you know it? Died instantly. And then as she's walking through the house to try and get to them, we see the mom has like a fucking uh, a little mechanical baking whisk in her eyeball,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think the dad has like a
Saw blade or
circular
something. Yeah.
saw in his fucking face.
It's like Jesus.
Yeah, and she gets up there and sees them walk through the portal, and she's a little too late. And then she knows she needs some help. And I think she's right there. She just does the Beetlejuice, 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 right?
Yeah,
Or
I
she
think
didn't think
so.
about it.
But they do meet. This is probably, I would argue, the best scene of the movie. But there is a moment where her and Lydia and Rory are in the attic, and she's trying to explain to him her trauma with this guy, and he's not really believing her. And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to help you out, like what a therapist would do. We're going to face this right on." She's like, "What?" And he goes, "Oh, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice," and then they get sucked into like a family therapy session with Beetlejuice. That was by far probably the best scene of the movie. That's like Tim Burton unhinged. You get like so much fucking. You get a great performance of Michael Keaton, obviously. You get the baby thing, which was fucking hysterical. Um, but yeah, I almost kind of, I don't know if you agree, but I almost kind of wish that was the introduction to Beetlejuice in this movie. Like we didn't get the work thing. Like they say his name, they get sucked down, and that's the scene that we're reintroduced to Beetlejuice. That would have been a fun kind of way to bring us back into Beetlejuice because that scene was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that scene was pretty good with the baby and yeah, the mama and all that shit.
Just not gumming on the fucking leg.
Oh, he's a leg guy, just like his father. Look at him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then they get back. Anyway, she calls him to get in that house, and I need you to help me get her back from the afterworld. I can't get in there. The afterlife is okay, but I mean, quid pro quo. You know how it goes. What do you want? You want me to marry you again? Hey, I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, and I know there's some things left between us, and we need to hash it out. And so yeah, he makes her sign a contract this time. He's like, I'm gonna need to get that in writing. And so she signs with blood, and then they go there. Then I think we quickly realize that he tricked her into saying the incantation, which is an agreement that she will give her soul up for his, so he can be alive again.
Yeah.
And she has to go on the soul train.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it seemed completely weird and like,
Yeah.
okay, we've never seen this before, but now it's a giant dance number and song number, and they have that one. I can't remember if it's later. What the hell's the song in this one? It's like the jump in the line one. It's about a cake. I think it's during the wedding. But
Yeah,
we'll get to
they
that.
play it in the credits. I've never heard that song. Apparently, it's a
Yeah, me either.
assuming a famous disco song, but it's a disco song. But yeah,
It was kind of interesting. Um, so yeah, they get there. They're chasing down Lydia, and oh yeah, or not Lydia, Astrid. Chase down Astrid, and she's getting taken away by like some Soviet Union kind of Russian
yeah,
dead, I don't know, officers like, with the big hats and stuff. And they walk by her father, who's working in a booth covered in piranhas. Like, Dad, Astrid, Dad, help! And then Dad tries to help, and I think, how did they finally save her? I think
Lydia
the
shows up
dad.
at the Soul train and grabs Astrid from the train, and then like a bunch of those Russian officers are chasing after them. And then I think the dad shows up and he's like, "Follow me!" And then he kind of like takes them in a back room or something.
Yeah, something about falling down a hole,
Yeah,
and the bad guys fall, and then he catches them, and then pulls them up from Saturn or something, right? And then there's a scene where they talk, and oh, I miss you both. You need each other. You're so good, and oh, we made a good kid, didn't we? Yeah, we did, and all that. And
I love the
you guys
flapping
don't.
noises of all the fishes during that whole scene.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty good.
They're all like in his body and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys don't see me, but I come around and look and make sure you're doing okay. It's like, why don't they see you? What are you talking about? Because obviously, Astrid can see ghosts,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense why she doesn't believe her mom. And then we get a little tidbit about why the Maitlands, why they're gone. Oh, they found a loophole. Quickly
Yeah.
wipe them off.
Yeah.
Why they're not in the house. And
Which weird you wouldn't get Gina Davis because I actually saw a movie recently with Channing Tatum called Blink Twice. Gina Davis is in that movie, so I'm wondering maybe she just didn't want to be in it or something. But yeah, she's still acting.
she said that she didn't want to do it because ghosts don't age,
Mm,
and she didn't want to be an older version. It's just like, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
It's like, ghosts don't age. I can't play that character again. Which she's right. So
that is true. That's a good point.
because we got old Beetlejuice in it, yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
He's a little bit easier to do because he's got all that makeup on, but still, you can see it. So So yeah, they save her, and then it for some reason it doesn't count until he gets his passport stamped. The kid, and as soon as he gets it stamped, he's he's free and he's going to be able to go back. And he gets in the booth. It gets stamped. Oh, they're too late. But then we look up, and it's Beetlejuice. It's stamped, and it says "tough luck" or something. Or
Shit out of luck or something. I definitely said
yeah, shit
shit.
out of luck.
Yeah, shit out of luck.
He's like, yeah, sorry about that, bud. You've been rejected. And then yeah, he falls through a hole and actually goes to hell. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what
Like a flaming abyss, which it seems appropriate for a murderer. So
yeah.
yeah, and then I think he transport them back to the human world, and now it's time to get married. Uh, and he's dealing with Rory. Like, what about the wedding? He's like, oh, this is awkward. I think you guys need to work it out. You know, feel free to just open your heart. A little drug therapy, and he shoots the truth serum into his neck, and he starts to tell why he wants to marry her. It's for the money, and I can make a lot more money as your husband than your manager, and all this. And we revealed, you know, who he really is, and I can't remember who were you talking about the second villain. I can't remember.
I just met the kid. I think that
Oh, okay,
kind of turns into
yeah,
a villain more or less. I was like, I think he does a little bit more damage. He has more to do with the plot than Monica Bellucci's does, because at
yeah,
least like
definitely.
his thing is like there's stakes involved with the daughter. So I was just kind of like confused. Like, why wouldn't you just have that kid be the villain of the movie, or just get rid of him completely and have Monica Bellucci? But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, then Catherine O'Hara
Oh
dies too
yeah,
because she gets some snakes, and it's like,
Uh,
well, the old wives of the pharaohs would do a snake incantation at their dead lover's tomb to help them into the afterlife. She's like, "Are you sure about that?" I'm pretty sure snakes tormented Ra and are a symbol of frustration in the
yeah.
afterlife. She's like, "No, no, no." And are those snakes? No, they're what does she call them? They're
Oh, I don't
they're
remember.
they're imps or something.
Yeah.
And they're defanged. I paid extra for it. Don't worry. And she's doing the thing at the gravesite and then holding them, and they both bite her in the neck. And she wakes up in the afterlife.
So good.
No, no.
This is a mistake.
And she keeps telling people, "I'm not supposed to be dead." And everyone's laughing, of course, because I'm sure everyone says that. And then they got that like hot dog on a stick girl working at the booth.
Oh
She
yeah.
got the hot dog on a stick like, outfit. You need to wait your turn. I'm on break. And where is my husband? I need a refund. And I think she does meet up with Charles in there, and he's like the half body. Oh, I've
Yeah.
missed you. Look
At the
at you.
Soul Train, at the Soul
Like
Train station.
squirting blood on her and shit. And I think they try to bring her back or something, and she's like, "No, it's okay. I'll be here. I'll haunt you from afar, me and your father."
Yeah. For the end of time or whatever.
Yeah, it's just weird. But I thought she was the funniest thing. She's from Schitt's Creek, man. She's just so funny.
Yeah.
Uh, Way funnier than she was in the first one.
I couldn't tell if the hot
Uh,
dog girl at the desk was the daughter from Schitt's Creek. They looked a lot alike. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of a fun
uh,
kind of like back and forth, but you know.
yeah, that could be. I could see it, but I didn't really pay attention. Just one of the best lines she has. I love when Lydia's, um, she has this like PTSD and shit. I think she saw Beetlejuice and came down, and she's just standing on the porch, and uh, Delia's doing something, reading a book or something, or drinking a cocktail, and she's just like
Oh yeah.
doing her breathing, and she looks over and says, "Oh God, Jesus! I thought I was getting attacked by a moose. Is that just your stupid breathing? Stop it!" She's like, "What? It works." She's like, "God."
That was pretty good.
It's like, why are you so weird now? What happened to that courageous gothic little girl who used to torment me
Yeah.
for all those years?
Yeah, you're kind of lame now.
And
Or what was
yeah, there's
the at the wake the woman's like, why is your house draped in black? And she's like, we're all mourning, even the house. Everything Catherine O'Hara says in this movie is fucking, it's so good.
Yeah, she was great. She hopped right back into it, and she's got a lot of good lines about how Astrid and her mom don't get along. This is just payback for you
Hmm.
doing this to me all these years. So all that stuff's pretty good. Um, as we get to the wedding, and then once again, Beetlejuice transforms into the red velour
Yeah.
uh, suit. Lydia's back in the red thing, and they're gonna get married. There's this like pastor guy or Catholic priest who shows up
Yeah, he's weird. He's like in
throughout it,
multiple scenes. I can't figure this guy out. Like this guy's kind of
and but
he
he,
feels
he's
like a
he's kind of
creep,
good.
but I don't.
Yeah, he's from Halo, is what I
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of know him from, and yeah, he's super creepy, and he was kind of a fun character. They're getting married, and I don't remember. There's a couple things people trying to say Beetlejuice, and I think Astra tries to, but she can't. He's like, it's in the contract. You can't say my name anymore after this. And I don't remember kind of how they stop him this time.
They do
Who?
that dance number that's reminiscent of the first movie that goes on, in my opinion, for way too long. It was like it's funny for the a minute or two, but that was probably like a
Yeah,
minute sequence.
and
Um,
this is a reoccurring thing they do. Is like Beetlejuice will say or sing something in a different voice, and he's like
yeah,
lipping it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's kind of strange. And it's like the rain on the cake, I will never bake again. It's a really weird song.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
another bit. I think it's after the therapy session he has with Rory and Lydia, where they get back. She says home, 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 and then he's like playing guitar on the model. I forget what song he's playing, but that got a good laugh at the audience. I don't remember what fucking song it was though. That was pretty good. But yeah, there's another
yeah,
lip syncing moment.
that one was good. The '80s one.
Hmm.
It's like, shit. I wish I could remember the song.
It had to do with "I'll be
Like,
right here waiting for." I'll be right here waiting for
yeah, that's the one.
wherever you.
Wherever you go, whatever you do.
That was
I thought
pretty
that was
good.
pretty good. um, yeah. So the wedding gets stopped by who? Who the
Monica
heck
Bellucci.
stops it?
Monica Bellucci
Oh
storms
yeah,
in.
she comes in.
Yeah, finally.
Her 2 minutes of fame. You think something might happen? No, nothing happens. She immediately gets killed.
Yeah,
How? I don't
Astrid
remember.
looks at the
Sandworm
book,
again.
draws a thing, and then goes into the world, and then I think comes back, and then does basically what happens in the first movie, which is they come back with a snake, and it eats Monica Bellucci and Rory. I think I don't remember.
Doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
don't know. And Willem Dafoe is there with his troops, but they're all frozen. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all over the
which is
place.
pretty much his role in this movie to be frozen and
Yeah.
do nothing. Um, yeah. Then I don't remember how they stop Beetlejuice after that. Somebody does, but I don't remember who. And they blow him up like a balloon.
Yeah,
Right? Do you
I
remember
don't
who?
remember. I think it
Yeah,
was a
someone
Lydia. I
says
think Lydia did something, but I don't remember what she did.
somebody says Beetlejuice, 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 or something. Oh, because the contract is null and void. Come to find out, because I don't know.
He's still
Astrid
married to
read
Monica Bellucci? Is that the thing? I don't fucking know.
Astrid read the book, and yeah, he did
Oh, right.
something.
He violated code 609 or whatever it was. Yeah,
Oh yeah, by
I remember
bringing a
that.
human into the
Yeah.
afterlife. Yeah, thus making it null and void, and the contract disappears in his hand. So then they can do the Beetlejuice, and then he starts blowing up. Beetlejuice blows up, and his face is like a piece of paper, whatever. And that's that. I don't think we had much after that, other than um, yeah, I don't really remember anything
Yeah,
after
it's
that.
like a fake epilogue where her and Lydia and Astrid are like traveling to Europe, and she gets married by some local and gives birth, and then the gag is that the birth is the baby from the beginning of the movie, and then Lydia wakes up, and then you hear Beetlejuice laugh, and then it's cut to credits. Kind of unnecessary, but all right.
Yeah. So I just thought this was a kind of fun return to that world. Uh, my thoughts would be fun, but completely unnecessary,
Yeah.
and probably not fun enough. Um, I was pretty disappointed. I thought the Beetlejuice stuff wasn't all that great. I thought everyone wasn't all that great except Catherine O'Hara. I thought killed it and fell right back into this Delia character so
Yeah.
quick. Um, and Lydia was pretty good too, but Catherine, man, was killing it. Yeah. So for me, it wasn't fun enough to justify making this. Um, Probably should have left it alone. I mean, it's a fun to experience that again, but yeah, I was just left disappointed by all the weird plots that don't really go anywhere, bad guys that are completely unnecessary. We already got Lydia needing help, so we already got Beetlejuice a reason for him to show up. So I don't even get why they have the wife in there at all. Um, so yeah, for me, it's like a 6.3. Pretty disappointing.
Yeah, we're actually not too far. What's the expression? Backhanded compliment. I think that's the expression. But which is that how I feel about this movie is that I found it to be entertaining while I was watching it, but like I'm not gonna think about it ever again. Like it's just one of those movies. Like yeah, it was fun, but like it's kind of a whatever movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like Michael Keaton was great. He was a little stiff, but it makes sense. I don't know how old he is, but he's pretty fucking old. He's not as energetic as he was in the first movie. Obviously, he's a little older now, but I still like Catherine O'Hara. I think he did a really good job at like getting back into this role. Had some pretty good lines. um, I would slightly disagree. I did like Justin Theroux, Willem Dafoe quite a bit. I thought they had a lot of, even though they don't really have much to do. At least they're kind of silly. I didn't laugh at anything they really did, but just kind of like smiled and chuckled every time they were on screen. Just how both of them were just so fucking ridiculous, over the top characters. Catherine O'Hara for sure. I'll echo everything you said. She was fantastic. Um, I think that yeah, I don't know. The plot, the plot just wasn't interesting. I mean, the only time I was kind of like a little bit interested is the whole, switching bodies. We got to get Astrid back. At least there's something happening at that point. But everything before that, I was just like, I don't care about any of this shit. Um, but I think the real star of this movie is Tim Burton's wackiness. Like it was, I don't know, it was just refreshing to see a wacky movie like this with the different lighting and his set design and costume design and his ideas. I think that's the star of the movie is just seeing Tim Burton's imagination again. I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen Tim Burton do something like this. I could be wrong. But yeah, to me, it's just a solid 7. It was fun while I watched it. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. This could be a Halloween rotation movie. It does take place in Halloween, but I'm just like, there's probably better movies to watch in the month of October. But it did make me think. I'm very much a fall guy. I don't know if you're a fall guy or a winter guy, but when I was watching the movie, I'm like, man, I can't wait for fall as I was watching it. But yeah, I don't know, 7.0 for me.
All right, 7.0, 6.3. Check it out if you want to. Go have that return trip to I don't know the town they live in, but the return trip to Beetlejuice Town and see what you think. Legacy sequels, they are what they are. It's
Yeah,
fun for the fleeting hour and a half or whatever you get, but then you usually don't go back. But for some reason you go, right?
yeah,
You gotta see what made them come back so long after. I'm sure there were so many opportunities to do Beetlejuice 2,
oh
but
yeah.
they did not do it.
As far as like
And now they
legacy
did.
sequels go, I feel like this one is one of the least offensive ones, at least when it comes to like nostalgia being thrown in your face. I didn't get that feeling of this movie. Like they could have done the "Ayo," like that song that could play again, or the jump in the line, but they didn't do that. They played a different song. There's even a moment where Astrid's riding a bike through town after her whatever fight with her mom, and she's like going through the bridge and like, oh, okay, this is the part where she's gonna die, and now she's the ghost of the house, just like the first one. And the movie kind of tricks you because there's a lot of like she's gonna get hit, but she doesn't do it. So I don't know. There's a lot of like stuff they could have done that made it very nostalgia bait, but I don't know. I didn't really get that feeling for this movie. It was kind of its own thing, which I appreciated.
They did do that song during his funeral, but it was a choir of
Oh, right,
children.
right, yeah, the kids.
Daylight come and me one go
That
home.
was kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, but
Hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. It's like a sad version.
Oh God.
I thought that was pretty good. And I didn't really notice until near the end where they showed his grave more times that it was a shark fin.
Oh
It's like a
yeah.
translucent shark fin with his
Yeah.
image in it.
Uh,
I was like, why would they do that? Like shark fin. Anyways. Yeah, 6.3 and a 7. It's okay. We like our legacy sequels. That's why we choose to review them. Just, you know, just wasn't quite there. We don't expect much from them. It was fun to go watch.
yeah. Totally.
But like I said, you probably won't be double or triple dipping on this anytime
No.
soon. Maybe you'll let some years pass and forget about it. Be like, oh, let's rewatch that Beetlejuice 2 again.
Hmm.
But that's about it. Yeah, go check it out in theaters. Check us out. Hang out with us every Sunday here on YouTube. Also on Apple Music and Spotify, wherever you enjoy your podcast. We'll be here waiting for you. Couldn't do without you. Appreciate your support. As always, we enjoy having you. And can't wait to see you next week. And until that next V's, peace.
Peace.